Hey there, this is the one Boom, and if you just picked up Black Ops 6 and you're struggling a little bit, you clicked on the right video because I have a list of things that are going to help you improve and help you play better in the coming weeks. So go ahead, sit back, relax, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and let me tell you how to improve yourself. Now, every YouTuber is going to tell you to go and turn off motion blur or change this or change that. Most settings are personal preference, and I'm not going to tell you each and every setting that I use unless you guys want a dedicated settings video. I'm just going to tell you the main things I think you should do. First things first, turn off the assists in the game. Not aim assist, but all of the mantle assists and movement assists, unless you require accessibility features, in which case, ignore me entirely here. But if you don't, then I think you honestly benefit more from being in total control of your character at all times and not worrying about the game mantling you when you just wanted to run up to cover or sliding when you just wanted to crouch. You really do not want to fight the software as much as their sort of smart movement in Black Ops 6 that they added. It is clever, and I do respect them for it. Great features for people. I think most people will benefit from being more in control of their characters than not, so turn that shit off. Next thing is a bit of personal preference, but I do recommend that you change your aim response curve to dynamic. This is what the pros play on, this is what a lot of the pub stompers play on. Dynamic is better. If you are a seasoned FPS player, you want dynamic. If you are playing on controller and you've been playing on it for a while, dynamic is way more respecting of your skill set than standard. Standard response curve will speed up your sensitivity at the outer edges of your analog stick circle, so the more you're pressing, let's say right with standard, you'll start off slow and you'll pan right and it'll get faster. Now linear is a direct correlation. The more you're panning right, the more it's gonna go right, directly correlating with your analog stick. I don't prefer that. Dynamic is where it's at, whereas dynamic starts fast and then slows down at your outer reaches. This means that turning on people, snapping on people, this means that flicking your stick in an entirely new direction is more accurate. Basically, your sensitivity will start off fast and then get slower as you get to the outer edge of your analog stick circle, and that is way more important in my opinion. Dynamic has helped me improve so much. The entire launch night of this game, I was playing with standard, not dynamic, and I didn't feel like my aim was very accurate. I didn't feel like I could do little adjustments or big flicks anymore, but it's because standard is just something I don't think I can ever go back to. The next thing about aiming is practice with a higher sensitivity. If you don't want to do this, ignore this, but I believe that although muscle memory from previous COD games, if you've been running 6.6 for years, then maybe just run 6.6, but if you feel like people are sliding past you and dolphin diving past you, and you feel sluggish and they feel out of reach, higher sensitivity time. Running a higher sensitivity with like an 80 or 75 aim down sight sensitivity is just better. I currently play on 12-12 because that allows me to snap to targets while still maintaining accuracy. I can fully turn on somebody and I still feel like I'm in control of my character. I do have a heightened right stick on my controller, that also helps, but for the most part it's because this game is faster and this game turns off your aim assist in close range, or I guess greatly diminishes your aim assist in close range. So when people slide past you, the game is not going to help you track them as they're going past you, so you need to be able to react to the fast movements happening at your feet and running by you. So faster sensitivity, master it, learn it. If you don't want to, that's fine. The next two things are simple. Make sure you go into your UI settings and change your minimap to square, and make sure you have your dive delay set to short. Now, a lot of people are going to say they don't want to accidentally dive, so they're going to make it medium or long, but I don't agree with this. Diving is how you are going to juke people in intense situations. The ability to dive through a window or dive off a balcony or to just dive behind cover when being shot from off screen is important, and you don't want a long delay because you want your dives to be reactionary. You shouldn't be diving into combat because that's going to make you an easy target. So you want to dive out of combat, meaning when you already started getting shot. In such a fast time to kill game, you don't want to be diving and holding down that button hoping for a dive while people are pumping bullets into you. You want to dive immediately. So I recommend running tap to slide, hold to dive, and then have your hold to dive delay set to short. Now we're going to go into loadout things that you should be putting on your classes. First things first, I want you to have a lock-on launcher, especially if you're playing solo. People are still learning the maps right now, and you do not want to be on their UAV, and Ghost isn't unlocked until later. So I recommend running the Sigma lock-on launcher as soon as you unlock it, which I believe it might be immediate. Shoot down every UAV you hear called in to make sure your enemies are as blind as you are. This is so important when learning the maps because you don't want to lose gunfights because people were prepared for you on a map you don't know. Then I'm just going to give you the 3 things you need to be prioritizing on your guns, because I feel like whenever I watch a best class video nowadays, this is never mentioned anymore because of how people play Call of Duty and how fast Call of Duty is. But likely if you're watching this video, you're not a crazy movement god that just outguns everybody, so trust me when I say that this is important stuff. The 3 things you need to be prioritizing on your weapons are flinch resistance, sprint to fire speed, and stealth. Yeah, obviously a good optic or bullet velocity or magazine size is important. Obviously, I'm going to be doing a lot of weapon reviews and loadout reviews and just best class setup videos for you guys. But if you take in less flinch when shot, you're reacting to gunfights faster because of a faster sprint to fire speed, and you have a suppressor keeping you off the minimap. Also, the suppressors in this game don't have a downside, so they're kind of a no-brainer to run. You are going to just be better than the average player. So many people prioritize aim down sight speed and aim walking movement speed, but when you start shooting them, they get so much flinch, they can't handle it. Or they sprint around a corner, and because their sprint to fire speed is low, you are already firing like 100 milliseconds before they are, and that is definitely the difference between a won and lost gunfight. Here's how I'm running my XM4, for instance. I have a suppressor, assault grip, and heavy stock. I also have a reflex sight and extended mag, but what's really important is that the heavy stock is going to reduce the flinch I take, the assault grip is going to have me reacting to gunfights faster with the faster sprint to fire speed, and the suppressor is going to make people not know where I am on the minimap, which again is very important when people are still learning the maps. They're relying heavily on that minimap and their UAVs, so shoot down the UAVs, throw on a suppressor, and you'll be able to take them off guard a lot easier. So definitely, again, remember, flinch resistance, sprint to fire speed, and stealth. Trust me. The next thing is, this game does not have crazy body multipliers. This game does very consistent damage all the way down the board. You see in this picture, I do 28 damage to the head, but then I do 22 to the legs, upper legs, arms, hands, torso, chest, neck. It's 22 damage across the board. So the game is not going to punish you for body and leg shots like it would in a previous Call of Duty game. This is to make the time to kill more consistent while people are performing omni movement tricks and stuff and running around, because if you could do omni movement slides and dives and spinning in the air and people had to directly hit your upper chest, like how is that going to work? So I say spray and pray. Run extended mags if you need to for this, but you don't absolutely need it. You want to start pre-firing. You want to start shooting the wall in front of you and then peering out and shooting. Start mag dumping first and asking questions later. Lining up your shot perfectly is not as important as getting shots on target before they do. Spend less time acquiring your targets and more time aiming towards them and shooting. If you get bullets out before they do, you're going to win more gunfights, and this is also tying into the fact that you want flinch resistance, you want sprint to fire speed, and for pre-firing, you definitely want a suppressor, so you're not giving away your location while you're shooting the wall in front of you as you peer out. You have to get into a mentality, a rhythm, and that mentality and that rhythm is essentially, I want to hit them before they hit me. It sounds simple, but it's somehow more essential in this game, I think, because accuracy is not as important as being fast and ready for gunfights. Another thing, when you're getting shot from off screen, one of the reasons we want to have that dive delay short, like I mentioned earlier, is so that you can dive when you're shot from off screen. Diving behind cover or off a balcony or behind a wall is going to throw people off. Like, if you're taking damage from a distance, just dive. Trust me, it's fast, it's fluid, you'll get back up soon. As long as it doesn't make a different engagement worse, you should always be diving towards cover the moment you take damage that you aren't aware of the location of. Also, because suppressors are so important, I don't think you should be running muzzle brakes in this game. I don't think there's a reason to run things that reduce vertical recoil except for very specific builds, so I would recommend you practice recoil control. Luckily, the firing range has a recoil wall where you can do that. You can just train your thumb for your gun of choice and just practice without any recoil mitigating attachments. One of the things I saw in Modern Warfare 3 is that everybody's best loadout that they would recommend people was just 0 recoil MCW, 0 recoil Ram 9, 0 recoil, you know, maybe get good at controlling recoil, then build your gun according to what you need it to do. Your loadout should not be dedicated to, you know, making up for a skill issue. So definitely practice recoil control whenever possible. The next thing here before I get into the drill I'm going to give you guys to do is, just biggest tip, play smarter, not harder. Overplaying is a crazy phenomenon in Call of Duty that's happened since movement's gotten so fast and fluid. People see pro players and pub stompers doing crazy maneuvers with slide canceling and, you know, entering gunfights they have no chances of winning and winning them anyway. But so much of that footage is cherry picked, and when you're fighting enemies that are around your skill level, which the matchmaking system is probably going to give you more often than not, You don't want to overplay. You don't want a ton of button inputs. Oh, I'm YYing and I'm slide canceling and I'm sprinting and I'm spinning in circles and it looks really cool. It looks really flashy. Yeah, but how good are you actually doing? You're getting like 1 kill streak, 2 kill streak, 3 kill streak, 4 kill streak, then dying? That's not great. Play smarter, not harder. Using cover, having exit strategies, pre-aiming when you know someone's going to be somewhere, learning the spawns is more important than being a movement god. You don't want to be the guy that's sprinting into the engagements and moving around like he thinks he's optic shotsy and then just getting absolutely decimated. Overplay is a problem. You do not need to overplay. Take a breath. Control your button presses. The game isn't on a treadmill. It's not running out ahead of you. Take a breath and control your environment. And now, the last thing I'm going to tell you to do if you want to improve at this game, especially if you're new at COD, but this really works for anybody. And I think one of the main reasons people aren't as good as they'd like to be is they do not practice. I need you to go shoot bots. Plain and simple, go shoot bots. What you do is you go into a private match with a weapon of your choosing. Again, not one that's completely dedicated to no recoil, because you want to practice recoil control. You're going to give the bots 200 health, so they take double the amount of shots to kill. You're going to turn off your aim assist, and you're going to kill 100 bots with that. So you have to shoot them twice as long as you normally would online, and you have to completely control every element of your analog stick because you'll have no aim assist rotating or slowing down your movement. Do not change sensitivity, do not change any other settings, you're just turning off aim assist and running bots at double health. Whatever difficulty or amount of bots or map you want is up to you. Larger maps will give you the ability to practice long-range engagements, whereas smaller maps will let you just, work your gunfights as fast as possible and get the 100 over with. But ranged engagements are still important, so I don't recommend avoiding it. Then you're going to do 100 bots, headshots only, no aim assist. You're going to set the private match settings to headshots only, and without aim assist, you're going to try to snap to bots' heads and shoot them as fast as possible. I recommend turning down the number of bots for this because it can get pretty overwhelming. But you're going to practice shooting high and landing your first 3 shots or so that's what you're going to do. Do not spray and pray unless you're going to be trying to, tackle a head glitcher at a distance or something. Just try to be, again, level-headed, take a breath, don't overplay, and just practice shooting heads. Then you're going to kill 100 bots without aim assist, but normal health, just normal 100 health, and it's going to feel like night and day compared to the headshots only and 200 health. It's going to feel like you're a god. Then you're going to kill 100 more bots with completely normal settings, just normal bare bones game with your aim assist on. That way you can feel the difference. Some people say you should practice with aim assist because you have aim assist in the game, you need to practice with it. We're not trying to master aim assist. We're trying to master fine motor control, make our controllers feel like they belong in our hands, like they are an extension of our hands. Then we turn aim assist on. Aim assist does its job and helps us out in those intense situations and engagements. But we don't want to rely on it. We don't want to learn aim assist. We want to learn ourselves. We want to see our own shortcomings, where we miss, where we hit. You'll find out real fast if you aim to the left or right. You'll find out real fast if you're bad at recoil control. You'll find out real fast a lot of things when you turn that aim assist off. And I can't stress this enough. This is key for success. If you play on mouse and keyboard, ignore the aim assist part of this. This is a just thing for success here. Muscle memory and confidence is the most important aspect of Call of Duty. Call of Duty is just about wanting it more than the other person that you're fighting and having more reps than they do. If you are practicing against bots like this, if you are focusing on firing first and asking questions later, if you are diving behind cover when you're getting shot from off screen, if you're playing smart and holding cover and having exit strategies, if you're practicing recoil control, if you're focusing on flinch resistance, sprint to fire speed, and stealth, if you're shooting down enemy UAVs, running that dynamic response curve, practicing with a higher sensitivity, using a square minimap, turning off all of the movement assists if you don't need them, and setting your dive delay to short, you're going to have a very responsive, fast, accurate time with the game. I cannot stress enough how important all of these things have been for my gameplay over the years and how important it's going to be for you. If you are struggling, if you don't feel like you're playing as well as you could, I want you to at least be inspired from this video to go practice and learn your weaknesses so that you can surpass them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section below. Leave your own tips in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.